I went to live with my auntie when my dad passed away. Quickly I realized that I won't bear treatment that I went through there. I decided to go back to Granddad. I was in the bus when we arrived near the regional lake, located between my hometown, which was our destination, and where we came from. But unfortunately when we arrived near this lake our bus broke down. I had no money, thus I could not change the bus, despite the fact that a lot of buses passed by this route heading towards our destination. I had to wait. It was already late at night and I was waiting for the repair of the vehicle. I felt uncomfortable and I wanted to wash myself. Those who were traveling with me indicated me the direction towards the regional lake. It seems to be morning, but I didn't know it was still 3 a.m. I thought it was 5 a.m. because of the dawn, so I went to the lake to get myself bathed. When I got to the lake I was amazed to see a soap, a sponge and a stone that people use in villages to clean their feet. I thought someone must have forgotten his items by the lake, so I went on to use them. I was in the middle of the lake cleaning my back with the sponge, when suddenly I felt someone rip the sponge from my hands. I wanted to turn around to see the person who had ripped the sponge from me. That's when I realized that I was paralyzed and immobilized like a statue in the middle of the lake, unable to move and make any movement. At that moment I heard behind me a person who spoke to me with a voice having excessive femininity. She laughed deeply and intensely with infernal laugh. It was undoubtedly the person who had torn the sponge from me. The abandoned stone, the soap and the sponge that I saw at the edge of the lake was not there by chance. It was a bait of this water spirit who had set a trap for me. While she laughed at me, I tried to turn around to look at her. I was completely paralyzed. At some point she stopped laughing and told me, "Gaston, do you know we have tried in many ways and many times to get you. For a long time we tried to capture you on many occasions and opportunities, but we were unable to do so." While this marine spirit was talking to me I was struggling to move my body and turn around to look at her, but my efforts were unsuccessful. The water lady said, "It is true that we have failed several times in our attempts to capture you in the past. However, since you have used my property, you gave me legal right and access in your life. From now on I have the right and legality over you. Today I will transport you to my universe under the sea, to introduce you to my father. You will serve the world of water. You will become our agent and our servant." While the mermaid spoke I still continued to make efforts to try to look at her. My efforts were without success. When she went silent I tried to turn around. To my surprise my body was no longer paralyzed. I rushed to turn around and see the person talking to me. That's when I saw from afar like human hair, emerging out of water. I saw a human head with a lot of hair that moved in the water like a fish. I was terrified to see this scene. I wanted to shout for help but my voice was gone. Finally I saw the entity that was talking to me coming out of the water completely, and she was looking at me and she signaled me with her hand to follow her. Since I was paralyzed by terror I could not move. I saw her hair that extended to me and she rolled them on my chest. When her hair rolled over me I felt like a mysterious energy that had taken over my being. I was like hypnotized and bewitched. My intelligence and my rational state was altered. Finally this lady of the sea began to pull me into the depths of the water, and we headed for the water world. We went down into the depths of the water. After a while I saw a large portal opening underwater. We entered this portal and we emerged in a mysterious world beneath the lake. This was truly the submarine civilization. When we arrived in this kingdom I saw in the city men who were hybrid. Their lower part was human but their upper part was beastly and monstrous. It should be noted that the underwater world has creatures and monsters of different shapes and aspects. After having traveled this kingdom we found ourselves in front of a man and a woman sitting on their respective throne. The woman who was sitting on her throne had only one breast. I heard the mermaid that had captured me addressing the man who was sitting on the throne. She told him, "Dad, I have brought you the man you have been looking for a long time. I have tried to capture him in many occasions. After many failed attempts I finally managed to get him." The man who sat on the throne ordered me to step forward before his throne. I was hearing Marine Demon calling this man that sat on his throne Lord Lucifer. This entity that was the devil ordered me to suck the breast of the woman that sat on the throne at his side. This woman was one of the wife of Lucifer. When I suck her breast I felt an extraordinary power that filled my being. Then the devil called me and told me, I will send you to earth to destroy the children of God. I want them to come and serve me here in the submarine kingdom. You will fight these Christians, you will destroy them, and you will transport their souls underwater, so that they can serve me, for I want them to serve me here. Woe to the earth and the sea, with great fury the devil has come down to you, knowing he has only a short time. And when the dragon saw that he had been thrown to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. I asked the devil how I am going to do this. He laughed with infernal laugh and told me, you are going to go to your native province because there is someone that I have prepared there that will help you accomplish your task. Once you meet this person he will show you how you are going to proceed in your mission of destroying the children of God and humanity. The person I have prepared for you is going to give you instructions on the mission you have to perform. Then you are going to come back here in the underwater world to see me. I asked the devil, I am here in the underwater world, how am I going to travel there in my native province? When I spoke this way, I saw the devil, hybrid demon and sea monsters laughing. At that very moment the devil took a metal stick and pointed it at me. As a result I was instantly transported from the submarine kingdom back to my hometown. In the blink of an eye I landed in a part of the city that I know very well. I was amazed and I wondered how I ended up here. Few seconds ago I was in the underwater world with Lucifer and the sea monsters. At this very moment I heard the voice of Satan. He told me, do not fear anything, you must go to the building of the headquarters of the army. There is a person I assigned to help you, you will do whatever he tells you. When I walked towards the army headquarters building I saw a woman in the middle of the boulevard, and this woman signaled me to join her and follow her. To tell the truth, this woman was a water spirit that was operational physically on the surface of the earth. I followed her to her house. She gave me a wire that was like a belt and told me, put it on your hip. The mermaid tells me the time has come for you to accomplish the mission and the assignment for which you were chosen by my father. You are going to give us 250 bottles of human blood. Every human life is equal to a drop of blood in these bottles. Every time men die there will be blood that will be added in the bottle. I then asked the mermaid, how will I destroy and kill people for Lucifer? The mermaid tells me, you give me your hand, I have a ring that my father Lucifer gave me for you. Then she took out the magic ring which she put on my finger. She said, now you can go home and visit your grandfather because your family is looking for you. He thinks that you are dead in drowning. I receive a magic ring that I had put on my finger. She tells me, you're gonna cause traffic accidents, you will sink boat and you will derail train. You're going to put your saliva on the magic ring which is on your finger. You're going to stir your saliva on this magic ring. As a consequence there will be accident. Without delay the mermaid sent me to the city. I embarked a bus where there were several people. There was even a preacher in this bus. In fact there were non-Christians and born-again Christians inside this bus. I noticed with my spiritual eyes that these born-again Christians shone and they were clothed in glowing and fiery armor. So a few minutes after boarding this bus I heard the voice of the mermaid, which told me, put your saliva on the magic ring. As soon as I followed these instructions suddenly I saw a massive rock appearing in the middle of the boulevard, in front of our bus that was moving. This massive rock landed out of nowhere in the middle of the boulevard. When the driver saw it he tried to deflect it but it was so massive he lost control of the steering wheel and the bus started to roll on the boulevard. As consequence many people died. I saw that the Christians were spared though they had injuries, they did not die, but as the car was moving and people were dying, I saw the first bottle given to me being filled with human blood because there were many deaths. The bottle was filled with blood. When I disappeared from this bus I landed in another district of the city. I got into another bus and I repeated the same procedure and there was another accident and many deaths. Beloved, the protection in this world is only in Jesus Christ. He is the Good Shepherd, He is the way, the truth and life. Without Jesus Christ we are in total insecurity. Any man who does not have Jesus Christ in his life is liable to fall victim to demon and the forces of evil which influence and control this world. After causing these public transport accidents the mermaid ordered me to find a train. After the conversation with the mermaid, I landed in a train full of people traveling at high speed in the railway track. Immediately I disappeared from the place of the second accident. I landed in a train heading for a specific region. Once I landed on this train, the siren ordered me to repeat the same procedure of putting my saliva on the magic ring. When I did this ritual, the train was crossing a river above the suspension bridge. Then suddenly the train started to zigzag and the train derailed and landed in the river. While the train fell in the river, I saw sea monsters and hybrid demons appearing in the train. They had utensils with which they collected the blood of the victims. After having derailed this train, I heard the voice of Lucifer, who said to me, "You are a faithful servant because of your obedience and submission. Now you must join me in the marine world, so that I can increase your powers, because you have managed to provide us with the amount of human blood that we requested from you. So I have a new mission for you." At that very moment, I held my mystical belt and prayed to Lucifer to transport me underwater, and in a split second I found myself in the submarine world. When I landed in there was a red carpet rolled out for me. I was greeted as a special guest with great honor. The red carpet was very long and endless. It went to the throne of Lucifer. I was greeted as a high dignitary. In this mysterious world, underwater marine entities were doing protocol service. They welcomed me and helped me walk in this red carpet towards the throne of Lucifer, and while I walked in this red carpet, I noticed from left to right there were mermaids that had fish tail. They were standing forming two lines around the red carpet, and when I reached the throne of Lucifer, there was a crowd of mermaids on his left and his right. While I was standing in front of Satan's throne, he told me, "My faithful servant, you did a good job, but you must understand that I am the prince of this world. It is me who has been given the power and authority to rule the whole universe, and the whole world, and all things are in my hands. It is written, the devil carried him again to a very high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory, and told him, I'll give you all these things if you bow down and worship me. Because it was given to me and I give it to whomever I want." Beloved, we know that we are of God and that the whole world is under the power of the evil one. Then the devil says to me, "I made available demons for your different missions." The devil told me, "Now I am sending you against the churches and the men of God. You are going to destroy these Christians, and you are going to capture their souls and bring them here." Then I laid down in an operating table and the demons were introduced into my body. The devil told me, "You are going to offer us 100,000 souls." After this enthronement I returned to the earth. The mermaid showed me a young Christian lady that I had to destroy by means of sexual intercourse. I began to court this lady. As we progressed, she refused to have sex with me, telling me that her pastor is in the habit of insisting no sex before marriage. She insisted that her pastor teach no sex before marriage. As I put pressure on this Christian lady, the angels of the Lord appeared to me and warned me that they will not let me force this girl in illicit sex. I was threatened by the angels of the Lord because this girl had categorically refused to sleep with me. But as I was putting pressure on her, the angels warned me that I would suffer consequences if I dared to use force. Later I explained to the water mermaid that the girl was categorical no sex before marriage. Sometime after that, the mermaid gave me money. She said to me, "Now you are going to visit this girl's family and you will propose to marry her with this money." Without delaying I went to see the family of this young lady and I proposed to marry their daughters. The two families agreed to meet. By the way, I wanted to marry her and then destroy her. The mermaid had also informed me that this girl's pastor was fiercely fighting the kingdom of Satan. But one day while we were in the preparations for the wedding, I accompanied the young lady to the church where she was praying. They were in full worship. The man of God whom the mermaid spoke to me fought the kingdom of Satan was preaching. It was then that suddenly the power of God fell on me in full worship. When I fell to the ground I lost control. I was in unconsciousness and in a coma. Immediately the devil manifested himself. He began to speak through my mouth. He said to the man of God, "You wage a war against my kingdom. I have been looking for you for a long time. You are tormenting my demon and my servants, but I will not give up. For how long you are going to break my heart torturing my demon and my servants? Like I said, I will not give up. I will destroy you when opportunity will present itself." you will leave my agents and demons alone." While the devil spoke to the man of God through my mouth, I saw intercessors surrounding me, and they took authority in the name of Jesus Christ against me. And while the intercessors pray for me, Lucifer deployed demons that came to arrest and capture my spirit. They captured my spirit and they transported me to the marine kingdom, where I was thrown in a prison in the underwater. I was imprisoned and held captive in the underwater world while the intercessors were exercising authority over me, and I noticed that this prison was guarded and surrounded by a large number of hybrid demons and sea monsters, who were on the alert and prepared for battle and confrontation. As the intercessors prayed, I saw 4 angels of the Lord landing in the submarine world in front of the prison, where I was incarcerate. These angels had eyes all over their body, each of them had 4 wings. They were warrior angels of battle. When the angels of the Lord landed, I saw demons and monsters protesting. They said to the angels of the Lord, "This man has signed a pact with us. He signed an agreement with us and he agreed to offer us 100,000 human souls. Therefore what you are doing here is illegal. Anyway, he is not going to get out of this prison." At that moment the 4 angels of war who had eyes everywhere forced into my prison. As a result I saw my prison wall collapsing. The 4 angels told me, "Today the Lord has called you to be his servant and you will serve him." And finally we went out of the marine prison.